Hello, Podcaster Pete community of givers. You're on the podcast for Senior Living Podcast. And we did have, let me take her name off until we introduce her. We were going to have Kathleen from their office over in Dunwoody area, Chambly, but we had technical difficulties. So I'm going to be subbing for Kathleen. So what I'm going to be doing is just sharing with you 3 reasons why concierge service doctors are important to your health. Now, being on the senior living, she's one of us. So we'll have her on a future. I've known about PartnerMD for 10 plus years. I didn't sign up till about 9 months ago. Why? I knew it was a great service. My friend Walt had told me numerous times. Like we would talk and he would share his experience, but it never really registered, even though I knew it was a great concept. And concierge, when you're talking about your health, who wouldn't want to have a concierge service? But it didn't affect me personally until Walt was down and we were talking and I was sharing my frustration with the major healthcare provider here and not being able to get what I consider good customer service. And he says, well, let me check PartnerMD, see where they are. I know they have something down here. So we checked and they were over Chambly, and I basically signed up within a couple of days. I talked with them. They walked me through. I had a call with the doctor. I had a combination, holistic and medical doctor, Dr. Sarma. And this doctor spent time with me, even on the call. Then when I went in, we had a whole hour of talking about my medical history. He was looking at it. We did a numerous tests to get going. And it was just a very doctor-friendly environment. We weren't rushed. And look, I had a medical doctor I thought the world of, but he was in a existing system which had so many visits in an hour. It's like, hey, I got to go. And it's hard when you're talking your health if you're not in a good system where you can spend time with the patient. Let me say that again. Spend time with the patient. Our health is very important. And when you get a little older, it's more important than it was in previous years because you see the vulnerability of really what's happening if you don't take care of yourself or have access. So with PartnerMD, I'm going to give you 3 things I think make a difference and why you should pursue concierge medicine. Okay, number 1 is access. Now, what do I mean by access? It speaks for itself, but let me tell you a little story. So Francisco, who's the health and fitness PhD that I see over there, the first time I met him, we talked about different things. And then he showed me 2 books. He said, these are 2 good resources, given what you told me, what your priorities are. Dr. Peter Attias. That book was so big, it looked like War and Peace. And I said, I'm not really an avid reader, although I do read. But I got it on Audible and I started listening to all kinds of podcasts. And I got a basic understanding from a person that talks about longevity, talks about, he was a surgeon, he switched to more holistic practice. And then he told me about the glucose revolution. This lady is a scientist, not a doctor, but she went through a journey, an experience, which led her to the one philosophy which changed it for me: vegetables first. I went, what? Vegetables first. What the heck's that? How's that have to do with anything about health? Well, if you don't, you can spike your blood sugar. With vegetables first, for some reason, it doesn't spike. And what we're trying to do is keep a consistent blood level. So I started doing vegetables first, broccoli first, avocados first, doing things that obviously would have an effect on my body. Did I know all this before I went? No. It wasn't until he walked me through. But here's the story I want to tell you. So I'm here at Overture, and I was kind of mad because they told us we had to have a concierge via valet service. And I said, I don't need that. I don't like to be told to do anything. I like to be my suggestion. That's the case with anybody. Give them choices. So anyway, I told him, take the trash can away. I can walk to the trash can. I need to exercise anyway. Well, here I am. I throw the bag over my shoulder and I'm heading to the area where the trash is. Well, I caught my foot and I flew in the air, because when you're trying to catch yourself, and I had the bag over my shoulder like Santa Claus. Well, I flew in the air all right. Didn't face plant, thank goodness, but chest on my ribs. Oh my gosh, knocked the wind out of me. 3 ladies came out of the room. They heard a big bang. Well, the big bang was my body hitting concrete. And I can tell you what happened. The concrete won, because I busted my ribs back. After I got my breath, a kind lady, I better not mention, I didn't give her permission to mention, I fell right by her room, came out, got the EMT, they helped me up. I basically was gasping. She got me a pillow. She did everything. Lady's wonderful. Now I can't tell. So anyway, she knows her name. So anyway, she helped me to really, because I said, I'll be okay. Yeah, right. I couldn't breathe. I wasn't okay. So the EMTs came. It looked like it was 6 of them came. They helped me up. I go back. Who do I call? PartnerMD, Francisco, because we've been out to dinner. We've hung out. We're the same kind of age. So we had in common some things. So I said, hey, Francisco, here's what happened. He goes, I got good news and bad news. I said, tell me what the good news is. You're in for 3 weeks of hell. I said, what's the good news then? You're in 3 weeks of hell, because there's nothing you can do. You want to breathe. That's the good news, because if you stop breathing, things don't happen. So anyway, so he cautioned me. He said, Tylenol is going to be your friend. You're going to be wanting to take it. I think it was Tylenol. I don't remember. But anyway, a kind of a pain relief. Well, the first night, I figured, hey, it's not bad. This was like 3 hours later. I go to sleep. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't even lay down. I had to go into a chair. And I was in so much agony because it had kicked in. Broken ribs, bruised ribs, the same thing. Can't do anything about it. Can't put a cast on your ribs. You just have to grin and bear it. It was 3 weeks of holy hell. I mean, bad. Every cough, every sneeze, every little bit of tweaking. Now, Russ, he lives here too. Oh, Russ, well, you're a guy. You're okay. He was in a car accident. The seatbelt was right across here, so he bruised his ribs. We shared our story about each other the other day. It is 10 times worse than a break, because you have to breathe, for one, and every time you breathe, there's pain. And every time you cough, it's like, oh my gosh, it is so bad. You only have to experience it to know. Oops, I got to turn my thing on. So My point is this: access to a medical professional. Called him on his cell and he walked me through. Basically, I went to get my imaging done, and I had told I better not say his name, the doctor there, that, oh, Dr. Sarma, yeah, he's been on my podcast. I can say that. He basically said, yeah, let's check it out. So when I did, I reluctantly went. So a couple hours later, waiting at the healthcare provider I left, I get my what do you call it? X-rays. He looks at me and says, I can't really tell if how about going back and getting it done again? I said, no, I'm not going back and waiting a couple more hours. Let's just grin and bear it. And I did for 3 weeks, never went down to the gym. Basically was in pain. Every cough, every sneeze, every bit of movement, you know about it. So having a person like Francisco walk me through the next 3 weeks, he said, you'll be better in about 2-3 weeks, depending on how bad you did it. To the day, 3 weeks, it was like bingo. I was okay. But I had a professional to access. So I say that to say having access to your health is critical, especially as you get a little older. The second thing is you got to be able to talk with your doctor. He calls me back. We discuss things. We talk about things. I'm not a person that likes medications. So I want to get off medications, not on them. So we talk it through because it's a medical professional. He knows what's going on, but he also knows with his holistic training that that's the direction I want to go in. He's not constantly hearing the pharmaceutical pitch, as I call it. He's hearing a balanced approach to health. So we ran tests and all kinds of stuff, and he's discussing my markers. He's discussing my health. Whole hour he has load. So they see less people and they spend quality time with those. And I had a friend, he said, well, how much you spending? I said, a couple hundred. And he goes, you're wasting your money. I said, oh, really? Why you say that? You don't need to spend that money. I said, hey, my health is important. My health, I want to know what's going on. I don't mind spending on my health. Do I need a big screen TV? No. Do I need somebody to help me walk me through my health? Yes, I do. I don't mind spending that money. Are you kidding me? A couple $100 to be able to have access to the medical community and be able to have a PhD in health and fitness and a doctor in holistic and medical? Give me a break. That's the best bargain I have. I'll never get rid of it because I know I have somebody to call, somebody with a different set of skills who's spending time with me, who discusses each things with me. Just went because I want to get an allergy test. So he researches it. He calls me back and said, here's our options. I said, okay, I want to go with that one. We have that discussion. I decide, the patient, not the doctor, the patient. And that's so important. Let me give our people, there we go, PartnerMD, just so you know. Okay, so having that relationship is so critical in today's world because the standard healthcare system is overloaded, much less the emergency room. Holy mackerel. Everybody goes to the emergency room. That's why you have the service gomedhealth.com because they provide, he's an emergency room doctor who now has turned into a practice that brings the service to you, brings the professional to you. So if something happens, you don't have to go to the emergency room or the urgent care and wait. They come to you. Great service. Okay, let me get back to PartnerMD. So Having a handle over my personal health makes a difference. So being able to discuss all my medical history, having it all in one place where the health and fitness guy talks to the medical doctor and the holistic, who is a combination. They're all talking because I go to one office and it's over in Chamblee, Dunwoody. I don't mind. I mean, my gosh, somebody say, will you go all the way over there? Yes. My health is important. That's why I go over there. So when Kathleen comes over here, and she will, then you'll be able to meet her. But until then, we were just kidding about her. Okay, here's her information. Email her, call her and discuss your situation. You have questions, they gather the answers and then give you the options. So that third thing I believe is options. I want options when it comes to my health. I want to know what my options are. I want professionals. Imagine a PhD and a holistic and medical doctor all wrapped up in one. That's who I have access to. It's well worth it. I mean, really worth it. So anyway, I'm going to put a little flash it up here. Oops, here we go. PartnerMD. Google them. Look them up. Check them out. They're in Richmond. They're in Greenville. They're in Atlanta. They're in Baltimore. Their hub is Richmond. That's where I'm from. So if you want better care, want access, PartnerMD is an option for you to consider. Now, there are other concierges up. I'm saying you have to go with PartnerMD. That's just what I have experience with. But definitely you put a priority on your health because you only have one body and you only have one chance at making sure you get it right. And you want to make sure you invest in yourself because you're the best investment you could possibly make. So take action. There's Kathleen's number right there. That's her number at the office. That's her. Let me just give it to you. Kathleen. Oh, I'm not good at pronouncing names. But Kathleen, call Kathleen at their office, 404-419-4750. And then you do Kathleen K and then her last name. You can see it up on the screen. So thank you so much. We're going to get Kathleen on our show very soon because she's going to come over here and visit a friend of hers that lives here at Overture. I appreciate you very much. Share this with somebody you love that doesn't know that it exists, doesn't realize that there are choices for you out there. And if that's something you can afford and you want to take action, do it. Share it with somebody. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your ability to share this with important people in your life. I appreciate you.